Please tell us more about you.
Aare Tomori was born some 53 years ago in Ebute, Metta. I grew up in Ebute, Metta. I attended my primary school in Ebute, Metta. Secondary school also in Ebute, Metta. Before proceeding to the Obafemi Awolowo University in Ife. I graduated in 1993. After my university education, I joined the chambers of then Barrister Tony Akpovi, now Justice Tony Akpovi, as the general manager of his property outfit. I was there until year 2000 when I resigned to set up my own company. I'm presently the managing director of T. Williams Constructions, chairman managing director of T. Williams Constructions Nigeria Limited. I'm the managing director of Olale Properties and Investment Limited. I'm the managing director of Olale Newtown Development Company. I'm also the managing director of Bintech Properties. I deal mainly in real estate and I specialize in repossession exercises. I'm currently the attorney to the Olotomiya family, the largest landowning family among the Idejos in Lagos. I'm the attorney to the Oshoro family in Oregon. I'm the attorney to the Egwayi family in Oregon, Ajose family in Oregon. I'm the attorney to the Shuru family in Solo. I'm the attorney to the Bosu family in Ekpe. And many more families.
Yeah, with the way you describe yourself as regards to your educational background, you are a legal practitioner.
I'm not a legal practitioner.
I read law.
No, I didn't read law. I studied creative arts. I specialize in sculpture.
Okay. That was when I heard you saying that you practice at a law fair.
I practice I practice under a law firm that has a property outfit.
Well, to cut the issue short, how and why did you venture into the real estate sector?
I ventured into the real estate sector by virtue of my relationship with Justice Akpovi, then Barrister Akpovi. He has a law firm, Akpovi & Co. But along the line, he set up one of the earliest property and real estate agency in Ebute, Metta. He had his office up at $64 Odaliki, if I'm still correct, in those days. Then I just finished from the university, and he called me one day that he knows most of us great affairs. Being people that has this opportunity of going through various departments and faculties in our elective courses, and he said he believed that it's something I can do. So I started managing his property outfit, then called Olotu Properties. So we moved from Ebute Metta to Ikeja. I think Akinolako Crescent off Adeni Jones, and I became the general manager of his property company. That was what I was handling, and during the pendency of my official duties, I started supervising some of his real estate construction works, and from there I started learning the ropes. And also by virtue of his person, he's someone that is so versatile in land matters. I remember in those days he will cause me to study some of the legal write-ups on real estate, especially in Lagos. and some of those in-house, if I may use that word, studies actually gave me an inroad into real estate and property issues in Lagos in particular. That was how I ventured into the real estate sector.
I go for that.
Editor, sorry, can I ask you something before editor? Can you tell us your relationship with Oloto Royal family?
I'm the attorney to the
Yes,
Oloto.
sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir. So, sir, I would like to ask a question concerning this. On the land matters in Lagos State, which has become a critical issue to land grabbing. Can you, with your experience, so far so good, what can you share a little knowledge about it and the challenges and the way forward?
Thank you very much. It's a very, very crucial subject that we need to handle, not only with care, but with utmost importance. Land grabbing in Lagos has actually dented a lot of good land repossession agents, and also they are already being branded Omonile. But I know there are some Yoruba men among you, the issue of the terminology Omonile has nothing to do with land grabbing. Omonile are landowners, and in Lagos there are traditional land owning families that we call the Idejos. The Idejos are descendants of Olofin, who upon his settling in Lagos settled coincidentally here in Ebute Metta, the first shifting from Ebute Metta to Ido. And I'll have to relate this to my very job. A lot of people rushed and actually came into this job because of what the economy has actually forced some of us to experience. Some that are either not experienced, some that had no prior, even basic educational background or qualifications. People want to make a living. Nigeria is good. I won't say otherwise. So the tendency for people wanting to making a living actually force a lot of people into this job. And some of them will go claiming they are repossessing or acting as agent stroke attorney to both families and individual owners without having cut their teeth in the nitty-gritty of the legal aspect of repossession. I would like to tell you this. Even having gotten a court order to enter onto a land and take possession, the statutory steps, legal steps, enforcement steps that you must take to making that order a reality. You can't get a court order and you just move onto the property and start demolition. The process of you going through the office of the deputy sheriff, getting bailiffs, recruiting the police so that the police can give adequate backup to the enforcement of the office of deputy sheriff. And also, you need to be careful making sure that that exercise is not hijacked by hoodlums. Land grabbing had been elevated to a point that even even those that are not in this field, ordinary Lagosian or Nigerian will move on to a land and claim ownership. Land grabbing has nothing. It's not too much with the so-called agent and attorneys. What's land grabbing? Anybody going onto a land that does not belong to him, that he or she doesn't have documents or anything to do with the land, and laying siege on the land, either by force or by whatever means. But land grabbing also has been in existence for a long time, and I'll give a typical example by virtue of the experience I've gained on this job. Let me give you this simple analogy. When land was still available in terms of vacancy in those days, let's say in the 50s, a man will buy a plot of land at a very particular location. He will get all his documents. Maybe when he bought it, a lot of people weren't in the know of urban. Well, the place might still be largely vacant. Maybe those days it can be bushy, it can be swampy, it can even be dry land, but without any occupant. Don't settle there. Build houses on it. Build houses on the house. Give birth to children. And so when he bought, the place was vacant. The children he begat were not alive. They don't know how their father got in touch with me. They don't even have history of what the land or the area is. The children will grow, get to adulthood. Possibly those vacant land might still be there. One day the man might just decide, okay, let me start farming. Or maybe let me start resting. Or maybe turn the vacant plots adjacent or opposite him to anything of usefulness. It might even be just clearing to ward off snakes. His children will be seeing that their father is having something to do on that land. I've seen a situation whereby such children will grow up and lay claim to those land.
Yes.
So the issue of land grabbing is so extensive, and good enough. I give big kudos to the Lagos State government for setting up the committee on land grabbing in Lagos. The committee has done a big job. They are doing a good job. They are doing a very, very fantastic job. But I still believe that more could still be done in terms of bringing in legal expertise into some of their decision-making processes. And also, enforcement unit of that agency must also be seen not to only be backing, but at times, if needed, biting. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Nowadays, there is this critical issue. Let me call it a national issue, but basically in Lagos State, about building collapse here and there, and a lot of lives are lost during the process. As a critical stakeholder in the industry, as a vital stakeholder, someone that is in the know, what could you say? I mean, just share your opinion to us about this.
There are a lot of factors responsible for this. A lot of quack, just as I told you, that a lot of people that are either too not experienced or not educated in whatever form had found themselves into the agency, a land agent and attorney in land issues. The same has happened virtually in every sector. It's not limited to property alone. It's not limited to construction alone. It's virtually in every sector of the economy. And really, the state of Nigerian economy has actually contributed to a lot of things that is happening in and around the construction and the real estate industry. The influence of work. Somebody will be a builder, we'll be calling him a structural engineer. Somebody that does not even know the strength of rods, metals, who claim is an engineer. You can't differentiate now any longer the difference between a builder and an engineer, or somebody that just maybe was opportuned to be maybe a site supervisor in some construction site and was able to see how his oga was doing one thing or the other. You two will take a job one day and start building. That is one of the problems that we are encountering in the construction industry, and leading also to most of this collapse we experiencing. The relevant government and professional agencies are trying their best, but I think the enforcement aspect of these agencies and the professional bodies need to be strengthened. I've not heard of anybody being prosecuted.
Sir.
I've not heard of anybody being prosecuted for either commissioning a structure that collapsed, supervising a structure that collapsed, or even authorizing by way of government consent. It's when we start seeing people rising up and bringing people to answer for their professional misconduct, that others will start sitting up. It's not enough that government should come and say any building that collapse will take over that building. The professional bodies that handle such structures must be brought to book, must be accountable for it. So I would suggest that government should look deeper into the enforcement arm of government agencies handling supervisory rules in construction.